Paris-based fashion designer Takada Kenzo has died at the age of 81 after contracting the coronavirus. He was the Japanese founder of the global brand Kenzo. Takada was born near Kobe in 1939. After studying fashion in Tokyo, he moved to Paris when he was 25. Takada gained prominence after he released novel designs based on ethnic clothing and organized fashion shows in pubs and movie theaters instead of boutiques. In 1984, Takada was named Knight of the Order of Arts and Letters in France. He also received a Medal of Honor in Japan in 1999. Takada's office in Japan said he was admitted to a hospital near Paris in mid-September, and his condition deteriorated earlier this month. Saudi Arabia's government has eased its coronavirus restrictions. It's now allowing a limited number of citizens and residents to visit Islam's holy site in Mecca. On Sunday, masked and socially distancing pilgrims were seen praying and circling the cube-shaped Kaaba at the Grand Mosque from early morning. Pilgrimages to Mecca are a vital source of foreign currency for Saudi Arabia, as they normally draw huge numbers of Muslims from around the world. But the government suspended the annual pilgrimage in March to contain the spread of the virus. It also sharply limited the number of pilgrims in this year's Hajj, only allowing residents and citizens of the country to take part. The government hasn't said what led to the relaxation, but analysts say the government may be trying to rejuvenate the economy that depends on pilgrimage tourism. Also, the daily tally of coronavirus infections in Saudi Arabia has been falling since peaking in June. Starting next month, Riyadh plans to permit entry to the holy site to pilgrims from outside the country. Figures from Johns Hopkins University show that nearly 35 million cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed worldwide, with the death toll standing at over 1 million people. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has shortened his planned trip to Asia, stopping only in Japan. His itinerary was changed after President Donald Trump tested positive for the coronavirus and was hospitalized. After leaving the U.S. on Sunday, Pompeo is scheduled to stay in Tokyo until Tuesday. He will take part in a meeting of foreign ministers from 4 countries, including India and Australia. Arrangements are underway for him to meet with Japanese Prime Minister Suga Yoshihide. Pompeo's trip no longer includes stops in Mongolia or South Korea. The State Department says it is working to reschedule those visits, possibly within this month. The Tokyo metropolitan government confirmed 108 new cases of the coronavirus on Sunday. There have now been over 26,000 confirmed infections in Tokyo. The daily tally of new cases has topped 100 for 6 consecutive days. This weekend was the first since trips to and from Tokyo were added to the government's nationwide Go To campaign to boost tourism. In Kyoto, tourist attractions like temples were filled with visitors, including many from Tokyo.
I feel lucky to be able to use the Go To campaign for a trip I had already planned.
At more crowded destinations, stronger measures are needed to contain the virus. In the Matsushima Islets in the northern prefecture of Miyagi, a tour boat operator asked all passengers to sanitize their hands.
I hope to get many more tourists while taking full measures to prevent infections, as everyone makes efforts to live with the virus.
Across Japan, over 400 new cases were reported on Sunday. The total is now over 86,000. More than 1,600 people have died. Japan and South Korea are expected to start allowing business travel between the two countries as early as this week. The Japanese government is gradually easing its coronavirus entry restrictions. Japan currently admits all foreign nationals with mid- or long-term visas. Business travel to and from Vietnam, Taiwan, and some other places has also resumed. Singapore already allows short and long-term stays by business people from Japan. Some members of Japan's ruling party say the resumption of travel to South Korea will help improve bilateral relations that have been strained over a wartime labor issue. Japanese officials are also in the final stages of negotiations with China to ease entry restrictions later this month. Sudan has a peace deal aimed at bringing decades of conflict to an end. This comes after lengthy negotiations between the Transitional Council and several rebel groups. A signing ceremony was held on Saturday in Juba, the capital of neighboring South Sudan. It was attended by the head of the Sovereignty Council, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, and representatives of the rebel groups. Last year, the former President Omar al-Bashir was overthrown in a coup sparked by public protests. Bashir held power for 3 decades. The pact includes a comprehensive ceasefire and an agreement that rebel fighters be integrated into the military. Some regions will be granted autonomy. But 2 major rebel groups haven't signed the pact. Council leader Burhan says he's willing to keep negotiating. Attention is now focused on whether the agreement will end the decades-long civil war. The Darfur conflict in the west left 300,000 people dead. It's been described as the world's worst humanitarian crisis. A Tokyo venture firm has begun leasing self-driving wheelchairs. The Rakuro chairs can be rented in Tokyo's Chuo Ward. A smartphone app gives users a choice of about 40 destinations, including supermarkets, restaurants, and hospitals. The wheelchairs can travel at 4 kilometers per hour on sidewalks. They stop at red lights, avoid obstacles, and return to their parking stations automatically. The company charges a monthly fee of 10,000 yen, or about $95, for unlimited use. Short-term rentals are available for about $4 for 10 minutes.
It's exciting to be able to move around while enjoying the view. And they also make going out more fun.
The president of the company hopes the self-driving wheelchairs will be especially useful for elderly people who have voluntarily surrendered their driving licenses. Professional wrestlers have put on a show in a train in northern Japan to give people some relief from the stress caused by the coronavirus. The wrestlers ran around the train, jumping from seats to take down their opponents. The event was first held 3 years ago to support the reconstruction of a line linking Niigata and Fukushima prefectures. Service remains partially suspended after heavy rains hit the region in 2011. The passengers had their temperatures checked and were asked to sterilize their hands and wear face masks.
It was more exciting than I'd expected. My stress has gone.
One of the organizers says they decided to go ahead with the event this year to stress the importance of never giving up despite the coronavirus. Those are the stories for this hour.